How are you now? We are back. Uh, just, thinking a lot about these cycles again, but these ones are more internal, hereditary, things which we carry with us from generation to generation, and things in which we are, most comfortable expressing over and over and over again. That's why they call it breaking the cycle, you know? Because if it wasn't so comfortable, why stay inside? Like, it's very counterintuitive to to do something so self-effacing, yet to feel like it's very chaotic to you know undergo new ritual to incite new patterns. It's chaotic, like, not like chaotic like ecstasy, but like chaotic like this is terrifying. This is something I'm gonna have to try that's brand new and out of my realm of ordinary. Chaos is often equated with feminine goddesses, and I guess feminine qualities too. Like there's this aspect. Um, I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure you know the yin yang, like the circle that one side's white, one side's black. I think about the darkness, like the shadows, like the obscuring, um, the obscuring force of what's to come. You know, the darkness from which light can emerge. I equate that with the feminine principle and the chaos principle, and it's interesting having gone through somewhat of a masculine revival myself, like in terms of trying to grasp greater understanding on the whole idea of what they call toxic masculinity, and to try to reconcile for a lot of the antagonization of man energy. In of myself, I feel as though perhaps it's time to swing the other way, like not sexually. I'm talking about more just like more in general about how I'm mapping my energy in my own framework. Like I've been giving a little more effort to try to understand some of the masculine energies, and it is always about finding a balance with these sorts of things. And I feel as though like this the feminine principle, which a lot of really disorderly people tend to embody, like this is like the creative principle. I think that there's a reason that creative males are often so feminine. And it's not necessarily to say they always are, but I think that like they do embody somewhat of a reconciliation with the opposite gender. I see men men who create as having somewhat of a womb, in which creative ideas can gestate. And I think that like finding the expression of creation in the masculine is really powerful. We start to think about our hands. Like these hands can create. Like we look at the homunculus. The visual representation of how the body is mapped by the brain, and where a lot of this, a lot of the lips, a lot of eyes, but mostly hands. And I think that the way that we interact with the world, that we act in the world and interact with the world, with by use of our hands to create, artificial architecture. Like I think that these things are result of a masculine idea of creation, which is people could say it is inherently feminine. Uh, which is really interesting. I don't know how much I believe mainstream science anymore, but they say that in the womb, before the penis is developed, like all babies tend to resemble that of a female fetus more so than a male. I think that the male fetus actually goes through more of a process of change from the original the original fetus, like the first trimester fetus. I think that the male fetus actually goes through more of a change than the female fetus. And you see in New Age circles, they'll relate this to women being closer to source. And you know, I don't. I'm not for female supremacy or gynocracy or anything like that. Nor am I for like absolute patriarchy. I think that there's a balance to be struck. But I do think that this principle of females being to create, or sorry, this principle of females being able to create like life, like not only artifices. Like this is the difference. Is like there are artificial things on one hand, and there are natural things on the other. We can artify things with our hands. But I think that it's something really interesting to think that like there is somewhat more of a natural creation. That's not to say that the masculine principle of creation is not natural, but I think it's a degree removed, more so than this feminine idea, of having a womb and creating a human. But not only just somebody else, it's somebody who embodies, your genetic code. Like not only you, but like, your partner. And then moving up through the generations, these are, this is what family is. Like, I think that when populations were a lot smaller, we used to look at, things like our neighborhood and our village more so as extended families. And when you really start to think about it, the numbers get really, really insane after only a couple hundred years. Like, I was doing a little mental math the other day. Well, this is something I've been thinking about for years, but everybody has two parents, each, like, you must have, whatever, they divorced, but, you must have had two parents. Like, I guess just speaking logically, each parent would have also had two parents. So, you got four parents, two generations up, two parents, one generation up. If you follow this trend, 3 generations up, that's 8 people. 4 generations up, it's 16. So we'll say, 25 years per generation. That's being pretty generous. So you got 16 old people that came together with another, that made another 8, that made another 4, that made another 2. Like, you're getting up there. That's like 30 ancestors, just direct ancestors. We're not even talking about uncles, aunts, brothers, sisters, anything like that. We're talking 100 years, 25 years per generation, 4 generations. We're talking like, we're already getting up there, the amount of people, like 30 people, rough estimate. But if we keep going, and if we follow that trend, we go 5 generations, we're going to find, well, let's just start over. So we got 2, 4, 6. This is it. 2, 4, 6, 8, 16, 32. This is 6 generations. So 32 people all came together. 64, 128, 256, 512. So 512 people 10 generations ago. So let's continue to follow this trend, okay? My math's going to get kind of shitty. But 512. Okay, so let's go to the 11th generation. That's, 250 years. This is the 275th year ago. We got 1,024 ancestors. It's simply, 275 years ago at 25 years per generation. 1,024 ancestors. And that's just them. That's combined with the 500, 250, 120. The number gets insane. And, you think about what year it was back then. We're looking at like the 1730s, 1720s. Like, there were 1,000 people that all successfully made other people, and that's why you're here, and they're adapted just like animals would be adapted to their habitats. I think about things like colonialism and, even just cultural migration, and you gotta wonder, like, how attuned are we truly to our environments? I'm somebody that really enjoys the cold, so now that it's snowing out, I feel like a little bit of resonance with some of that Nordic, ancestral memory, that Northern Europe, like, I'm Dutch, Swedish, things like that. I feel these things coming out, and it's a great expression. Like, I'm happy to feel this way about my environment. It's just food for thought. People that say, oh, I don't want to bring kids into this cruel world. My only thought truly, and I pray for you, is if nobody had kids during the Dark Ages, there wouldn't have been a Renaissance. So that's it for today. Have a good day.